discussions, something that we have some physical activity. Okay, how do we get to the first one that I mentioned earlier? How do we determine the learning styles? Okay, so there are two approaches that can be utilized. One is the collaborative approach, and the other is the automated approach. So the collaborative approach is a bit out to date. The one that is normally used for conventional learning using questionnaires. Something that we have found out that the result may not be so accurate. So we have decided to adopt an automated approach that is to observe, to monitor the actual behavior pattern during the online learning process. So elaborate on this later. So as I said earlier, we have decided to adopt the active learning styles by Felder and Silverman. So what do we match these active learning styles with? What teaching approach is best to be used with active learning styles? So how do we determine that? Okay, let's say short explanation there. So Franzoni 2008 has come up with a learning style matching taxonomy based on Felder and Silverman 1988 learning models and teaching methods. It is matching teaching method based on group problem solving with active learning style. So we have adopted Franzoni taxonomy to determine the best teaching approach. Okay, so something that will be suitable for learners with active learning style as both facilitate present when they are presented with problems, the PBL, problem-based learning. So it's a marriage between active learning style and group problem-solving activity. And then a very short definition of problem-solving over there. First, the integration of concept and skills to solve an incomplete situation to overcome problem. Okay, so our research methodology. So the research design that we use is the experimental approach. This is one group with pre and post tests. So we so for this purpose we select this because I think if just using one group, the result will be more consistent rather than picking different groups, because we may not know their learning learning ability may not be the same. The styles may be different. It's one group, so they're given a pre-test and a post-test to determine the effectiveness of the approach adopted. So for the timing of sampling, this is what we call purposive sampling. So the students, the samples, they are selected on purpose, not at random. And then for the sample, so initially we use 45. So after the second phase, we have determined that 21 out of the 45 do have active learning styles. They do practice active learning styles during their online learning process. So 21 out of 45 fifth semester diploma in engineering students who were enrolled in multimedia interactive application course. So the instrument used for this research is online learning materials, the one that we will put up on our LMS, and then the log data that we got from the online activities, and then the pre and the post test. So the duration of the survey is 15 weeks. Okay, the research procedures. Okay, to determine the learning styles, there are 45 students, the whole class, so they are picked and they are asked to go online, make use of the existing materials that we have on our LMS for 9 weeks. So they have been monitored. We were monitoring them for 9 weeks actually. So and then effects of adaptive approach. So after this 9 weeks, out of 45. So we have determined that 21 out of 45 here have the active learning style. So we go to the next phase with the 21 sample. So making use of that approach. So we have created a forum online. So we have given asking them to do activities online using the forum. So this is done and monitored for 6 weeks continuously, 9 weeks continuously and 6 weeks continuously. So there's a time frame there, 9 plus 6, 15 weeks. So for week 1, so all 45, they were given a pre-achievement test to do. And then from week 2 to 9, all the 45 were asked to do all the online activities. And then from week 10 to week 14, the 21 selected were exposed to active learning activities using group problem-solving activities. And the platform is forum. And then in week 15, these 21 samples, they are given post-achievement tests to carry out. Okay, our research methodology here. So each group of learners, they are given 3 topics related to the content of the course, the MIA course for diploma level, to carry out the online learning problem-solving activities. So they are given 2 weeks for each topic. So it's 6 weeks in total. So learners during this during the process, during this 6 weeks, they are assisted online by the instructor, by the teacher. So by giving feedbacks, encouragement, help, so on and so forth. So the achievement test given at the end of the 6 weeks is to measure the effectiveness of the adaptive learning. That means the matching or the marriage between learning styles, the active learning style, and the group forum solving activities using a forum platform. Okay, the test. This is the instrument that we use, as I said, a pre-test and a post-test. So we have divided into 2 sections. So giving 5 short essays. So this is the for section A is Bloom taxonomy at knowledge and comprehension level, and then for section B is Bloom taxonomy at application and analysis level, a more higher thinking skills order. Okay, the discussion topics that we have put online and also the achievement tests that we administer were validated by instructional expert at the Polytechnic and also a content expert. And as I said earlier, this was supervised by Professor Dr. Zaiduddin of UTM. And so the reliability of the achievement test was established to repeated tests by Pearson correlation value of 0.763. So this is the hypothesis that we have. Whether the approach that we adopted to play a role to increase online learning or not. So this is the data analysis. So to determine the online learning styles. So these are the things that we have on our LMS. So this is the pattern of the samples that we use. So these are the formula that we use, and we've come up with the result over here. So the t-test result on active learners performance. So if we achieve more than less than 0.05, so the effect is good. It is positive because the adaptive learning do have a positive effect on the learners. So the power analysis. So since we only use 21, so the sample is very small. So we are able to do an analysis to show that even though the sample is very small, but the result is valid and reliable. So we have carried out this analysis. Okay, these are the discussion that I mentioned earlier, what we have discussed. How do we select learning style model, and then how we determine the method of determining learning styles, and thirdly, how do we select the best teaching method to be matched with the learning style. Okay, in conclusion, the three elements that I mentioned just now can be considered in determining the effect of matching teaching method with learning style to improve learners' performance. So we were successful here. And then since our scope was very for future research, we will suggest that the focus on learning style dimensions since we make use of only one out of the 8 learning style dimensions. So maybe future researchers can use the reflective, visual, and etc. the other 7 dimensions here. And also the focus on other teaching method in the taxonomy of mentioned teaching method with learning style. That means other than group problem solving activities. There are many others. And the last one, focus on other effect of adaptive learning. Not only look at the improvement of the performance, but also the level of critical thinking, knowledge construction, and etc. So since my time is up, so with that, I thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation regarding the online environment, online learning environment. So we now open to question and answer session. We have 5 minutes for question and answer. Have any questions? So thank you very much.
Thank you again.
So we proceed with the second presenter. Now I'd like to invite Lanzin Wong. Lanzin Wong's paper titled "Fight for the Speed: Application of Proof of Concept Prototype of Mobile Game Based Treatment."
Okay, fight obesity is with a proof of concept prototype of mobile game based on.
Okay, proceed with the others. Nurihan Abdul Rahman. The paper entitled "Identification of a Social Design for E-Learning and Initial Multi-Phase Activities for Requirement Engineering." So you have 15 minutes to present.
Oh,
5 minutes
Assalamualaikum and good day. I'm Nurihan. My matter is identification of social presence for e-learning and initial multi-phase activities for requirements engineering. The content of this presentation consists of introduction about this paper, definition about social presence and requirements engineering, initial multi-phase activities, some introduction, what is going on in the paper's content, some initial results on EFA, exploratory factor analysis, and CFA, just an initial results, and the last one is conclusion. As we all know, e-learning, we use it for online learning purpose, for learners, students, teachers, and so forth. And normally we will have this kind of facilities, such as submitting assignment, taking notes for students, doing quizzes, doing forums, and chatting. So for this e-learning environment, in our study, we focuses on how to gain the requirements for this non-technical demand from the stakeholders. Because students nowadays, they always feel enforced to use e-learning. So we feel that it is quite important for us to identify how to obtain requirement to develop e-learning in order to support connectedness among users, how to make sure that the users engage with the e-learning, how to make them comfortable, enjoy using e-learning. So in the area of requirements engineering, we will try to identify how to get that requirement. Okay, and so all of these requirements in the e-learning environment, we focus it under social presence. We call it as social presence. So we believe that the higher value of social presence in e-learning will lead to the higher increase of student engagement, or will lead to higher increase of active participation in e-learning. So some definition. Social presence can be defined as a sense of connectedness in order to increase the user interaction by sending or receiving messages during communication. And social presence helps to increase the interaction and collaboration among learners. In our study, we focus on these possible social presence factors. We, by using previous literature survey, we identify these 4 possible factors, and we hope to elicit these 4 factors by having a proper way of what we call as requirements elicitation technique. Requirements elicitation technique is requirements gathering technique. So let's say we are the developers, we have to find a way, the right way to get the right requirement in order for us to support the social presence, so that the e-learning can have that support and students will engage with the e-learning environment. Okay, and then this is the overview of requirements engineering. Requirements engineering is actually under SE, software engineering. Software engineering is actually a process in order to develop the software. So under my study, we only focus on elicitation, which is part for gathering the requirements. So we will try to see whether we can create what are the factors that can promote active participation by using elicitation. As the research methods was studied, this is my PhD work last time. So in my PhD, I did 3 studies, study 1, study 2, and study 3. So this is only a part of the PhD work. And for study 1, what I did was I identified existing requirements elicitation technique, which can be used to support the social presence. And at the same time, I also did some quantitative analysis, which is to identify what are the response from the learners regarding the internet usage. And from there, I will produce the result and give the result to study 2, which is not covered in this paper. This paper only regarding the initial result of study 1. Okay, this is the hypothesis for the social presence factors. From the study, we have identified 4 possible factors. Number 1, the first hypothesis, the students' perceived attention has a significant effect on social presence. Number 2, the students' perceived relevancy has a significant effect on social presence. Number 3, the students' perceived confidence has a significant effect on social presence. And the last one, the student perceived satisfaction has a significant effect on the social presence. So we believe all these factors may lead to social presence, and we can use it as the requirements in supporting the e-learning environment. This is a brief information regarding demographic. For pilot study, we have conducted in UiTM. And for main study, we have conducted the survey in Visa and UPHN. So we start with the result for pilot study. For pilot study, before I run the EFA, EFA is actually a test where you can make sure that your question in the test is related to the factor that you want to check. So before proceed with EFA, I check the data adequacy first to make sure that number of respondents is enough for my study. So as you can see, we have this KMO and budget test. In order for us to check the data adequacy, we have to look at those figures for the significant and the KMO. If the cut-off value are satisfied, meaning that our data is adequate to proceed with the EFA. So we have, after checking the data adequacy, we run the EFA. So this is only a part of the result for EFA. As you can see, we have total variance explained and cobalt alpha. Okay, those two values indicate that the questionnaire in the survey correspond to the respective factors. So I can say that the question that I ask my students regarding the social present factors is reliable to portray the social presence condition in the current e-learning environment. This is only the CFA summary. From the summary of CFA, I only take out the item is the question. I only take out the item which is less than 0.6, meaning that the item is not reliable. So item with 0.7 and above, it is reliable to be analyzed as CFA results. And as the conclusion, the study one review, from the thorough analysis is in EFA and CFA, we have concluded that four factors have significant and direct influence on social presence. And we have evaluated this construct using SAM, structural equation modeling. And by having the result in SEM, we use that result and start with our study 2. Study 2 is actually our implementation of requirements elicitation. And study 3 is actually our review of evaluation regarding the elicitation technique that we have just proposed. So I think that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much.
E-learning.
Just up to speak, why did you choose UITM as a pilot study and then carry out the study one, carry out the application and not other universities?
Okay, regarding the pilot study, the purpose of having the pilot study is to see whether the question is reliable. So if let's say I choose UITM, I only select the university that is active with e-learning. So no matter which university it is, I can still choose one just to make sure that the question is reliable. And as for the main study, I choose the criteria with the university that have IT related faculty. With UNIZA, we have faculty of IT, informatics. UTHM also got IT. So we consider that as the same background. Thank you very much.
Now for the next presenter, titled Online Learning, Students Participation Inspection by Zarira Binti Sari.
Alright, thank you.
Okay. She is a lecturer at University of Barat. July 2011. She has published first best practice in cost estimation for IT project, fourth icel 2014, textbook proliferation in multivariate society, especially for privacy management, and user perceived behavior control on angka aplikasi. And also invention project, internship database system, internship database system, IITX. Okay.
Thank you, okay, Assalamualaikum. Hi, salam sejahtera. Very good evening to all of you. Okay, I'm a new lecturer actually at UITM. Just 3 years in employment. Okay, so I would like to proceed with my research with my friends. Okay, so the title is about online learning, but my research focus on the students' participation and satisfaction. Okay, these are the topics that I will cover today: introduction until the conclusion and recommendation, and this is the theoretical framework for my research. Okay, we focus to the online learning participation, okay, the variables, what the factor input and participation, online learning ability, lecturers approach, and also the different variables student satisfaction at UITM Jennifer only. Yeah, my response at UITM Jennifer. Okay, as introduction, most of the researcher previously has mentioned the definition of e-learning, online learning. Basically, the concept is this: we need the technology. Okay, we need internet connection so that we can implement the online learning or e-learning. Okay, so this introduction. Okay, because in Malaysia nowadays the trend of higher education learning system has changed. Everything must be transformed into the online learning or e-learning. Okay. So these are some literature review or significance of the research. Raja Mazna, he has mentioned that most public university in Malaysia has some form of strategic plan for implement pure electronic university. So other than ITM, there are another or many universities in Malaysia, included OUM and UNITA, also implement the online learning. Okay. So in particular, students have to realize their responsibility for guiding and direct their own learning using online learning. They have to know how to manage their time when they learn using online learning. They need to know how to keeping up with the class, complete the work on time, and also being active in the online learning class. So there are so many literature reviews. We explain about online learning. These are some of them. Okay, which is from Benson, Kalina, and Correct. Online learning is described by most authors as access to learning experience via the use of some technology. Okay. So the research background, as I mentioned before, focus on online participation and the student satisfaction. So based on Stephen, 2008, said that online participation is a process of learning by taking part and maintaining relation with others. So online participation is very important because to make sure the learning process in the class will be successful. Okay, this is our hope. All the lecturers and educators goal. Okay, so this is some of research background or the previous study about online participation, okay, among students around the world since a few years ago. Okay, we can see that since 1998, there are research on participation here, which are used to be fundamental or intrinsic part of learning. That means participation is very important. Doesn't matter in offline session class or online session class. Okay. Alright, so the problem statement. I focus the current situation of this research as we look at University Technology Merayu Island because I'm from there. Okay, this is some picture because okay, the building. Alright, the issue here we focus on students' participation and satisfaction among our bachelor students of system management at UITM Pahang. Okay, what is the problem? We focus on the poor participation in online learning among the students, or we call as OM student, Office System Management, OSM. Alright, these are some examples. Actually, ITM has implemented the online learning. They use the island portal Okay, this has shown that the participation of students, this is my student actually, okay, their participation. When we have the group forum, okay, so the 0 there means they not participate in the online session, online learning. That's why this research is very important to know our own students, why they are really bad in their participation when we conduct the online learning session. So there are 4 groups. Okay. Okay, so the research objective, we want to find out or identify the type of online learning activities. Okay, second one, to investigate approaches that the lecturers use in order to encourage the students to participate in online learning. And last one, to identify the level of satisfaction among our students when they study online learning using e-learning. We are using e-learning at UITM. Okay, so the methodology. This is a quantitative research method. We distribute questionnaire consists of 42 questions, 5 sections. Okay, as you can see at the slide, there are 5 sections included from demographic until the section E, student satisfaction. Okay, to an online learning. Okay, from section B until section E, there are the type of question is like a skill question. Yeah. Okay, so this is the findings what we got from this research. Okay, so as shown that there is a reliability result, okay, which is acceptable, alhamdulillah, and good, because according to Sakaran 2023, it suggests that reliability is standard endurance, the consistency is as well. But those number, it considered as acceptable. Okay. Alright, so most of the respondents or most of the students are among female students. Okay, 88%, over 100 of them. And they are actually, you can see there how much time spent for online learning. They take about average 2 to 3 hours per day for online learning. Okay. Alright, the first research objective to identify the online learning activities among students. So these are the results. Okay, the notes, the group discussion, and online test and quiz are the highest results for type of online learning activities among our students that you can faham. So the group discussion may include the knowledge sharing on subject matters or chapters that covered in the current semester. However, based on the result, it shows that lecturers also prefer to conduct online tests or quiz. Yes, we would love to conduct online quiz and tests. Okay, for one of the online learning activities. Okay, next findings. Identify the activities that contribute to the most student activity using online learning. Okay, they review chapter slides online, submit course assignments online, and register for courses that they do for every semester. Okay, that's part of online activities. Okay, next research objective is number 2. The finding is to investigate the lecturer's approach to encourage students' participation. What are the lecturer approaches? Okay, so we found that most of the lecturer upload the assignment in a group forum. This is what the lecturer do. They have to encourage the student participation. They submit, upload, download the assignment questions. And then the lecturer always give feedback in groups. When the lecturer give feedback in group discussion, inshallah, the student also will give good participation and cooperation. Okay, and then the lecturer also use simple words to deliver to the students. Okay, so that they can have a good communication between the lecturer and the students. Okay, last one, the finding for research objective number 3 is to identify the level of satisfaction among our students. Okay, it shows that moderate participation, okay, which is mean 3.64, because like the scale is from 1 to 5, so the result here is 3.64. That means this moderate participation. So what does the lecturer, what does it mean? Next is about satisfaction level. So it shows that they're only fairly satisfied. Just for your ITM students, okay, office system management, students. I'm not sure about other places. We can next research. Okay, you can try your own IPTA. Okay. So last one, the conclusion and recommendation. This is the result. So the students say that they are fairly satisfied and moderate participation with the online learning at UITM. So next researcher can find out, or maybe can conduct another research to find out the relationship between student participation in online learning with their grade performance or academic performance. Okay, at UITM. Yes. Any question? Very simple.
The students' participation and participation on online learning can be considered as the important factors that can contribute on our education level. So now I open for the question and answers. So you have 5 minutes.
I have two questions.
Alright, thank you.
Number one, how actually you ensure student participation in online learning? And I mean, you will ensure that there is no participation.
Yeah, poor actually,
Poor
poor
participation,
participation.
right? And the second question, in your question, you have open-ended question.
No. Okay, all multiple choice.
Okay.
Okay, questions, and to answer your question, how to ensure their participation. Okay, actually, when we upload the question, we do the test on this online, so we can keep track or we can monitor their their participation from this platform monitoring system. So from here we can see there are 14 weeks of participation, also class session at UITM. So every week we can monitor or see the student participation. They participate for each week. So the 0 here means they not or never participate.
This is for
Yes. This is for one whole semester.
I mean,
But this one,
is one group.
Oh yeah, this is for one group. So here I show you the of 4 groups. One group of students
Was thinking that because they are in a group, so they
in a class group.
yeah, so maybe they already have discussed among themselves outside.
Yeah,
Outside,
yeah,
so
that one normal.
they asked their friends to actually answer it, so they didn't.
Yeah,
actually
that one we cannot control. It's out of our control because technology can do anything.
Actually, my second question is that regarding the open question, we just interested to see what is their comment because you say they are fairly satisfied.
Yeah, actually, okay, good question. Because before I conduct this research, okay, I've asked them personally, okay, each of them to write on the paper. Okay, what is the issue? What is the problem when you actually want the students to involve in online learning, or we call as blended learning? Because blended learning, we combine the face-to-face, you know what?
And online.
Yeah, online learning. All right, thank you.
Very interesting research. I just wanted to
Thank you.
can you elaborate on the why is it your focus is island? Is it? What about other online learning?
Okay, good question also. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I think it's one of the one way or two of online learning in your exam.
Yeah.
There's other methods. Okay, other tool of communication that the student can use to do online learning. For example, we use the blog. Okay, and then we use YouTube. If they participate, they give comment, they upload the video. There are so many activities online learning. They can prepare video, use different application online. So all
So that's why I
yeah.
find it funny that you say the students find not satisfied, not really
Yeah,
highly
that's-
satisfied.
yeah.
So they are satisfied with Facebook, not only
Social media, one of
like social media. So do you think that most probably the island portal is not really attractive enough for them?
maybe the facility. I think also facility at your identity, or I'm not sure your IDM. Okay, the facility for students to have an internet connection to work online. Maybe not enough room for internet connection. Yes, the coverage, internet coverage also lead to the problem. Because your identity, the coverage there is not like town or KL.
So, sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned that they do YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
That's not trackable, right? you don't have the frequency of how many times they log in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't reflect their participation online in that sense.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So because I love to ask the students, other than involved in group forum at Ireland, I would like them to use any application at I mean YouTube, social media, okay, to show that they are participating online learning.
So the items in your instrument, for example,
Yeah.
does it ask in the case of using island system or
Yeah, IDA system is a one channel, one tool, okay, to the students to communicate with the lecturer. Okay, because they can upload and download the assignment, the notes, okay, the YouTube and the social media network. That one is a part of activities that the student can join, okay, together with the lecturer, okay, and change information by sharing link, the file, not necessarily chatting. Okay, the student can exchange the file, the link, the URL link. The lecturer asks them to produce YouTube, any video online. Then they submit the work, okay, the line, the URL address in the island. Everything they have to submit at island. Island is the portal of UITI. In order to to conduct the online learning session. So the YouTube, the social media, just to support the academic activities through online learning other than face to face communication with
Thank you very
class.
much.
Right. Okay. You can ask me later. Thank you. All right.
Now, I would like to invite next presenter, Dr. Eddie Nasrul Asad. He will have a contribution in the development. Eddie is a lecturer in UITM, PhD in microbiology.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. A very good afternoon to all of you. Yeah, actually, my PhD is in medical microbiology, so this is totally out of my field. I'm just exploring new things with my partner, Budi Asli, Dr. Budi Asli. She's a dentist, and I'm not a dentist. I'm a PhD, Dr. PhD. So this is our topic. Actually, smoking cessation, learning through app development. These are my outline for this presentation. Basically, this is a concept paper. We are just introducing the concept paper and we would like to try to with our students. Today's theme is for this presentation is mobile learning or end learning, as we know it now. If you know, this is a conventional method currently we are doing in the classroom, right? When I say mobile learning, means from these conventional methods to this outside the classroom. We actually is not. This is not mobile learning. What I mean by mobile learning is this one, through all the mobile devices. Doesn't matter if it's iPhone, handphone, tablets, laptops, mobile devices, which can be used for online learning, and including the e-module, and also even now we have this handbook of mobile learning by Zin and Lin. So today I'm going to talk about mobile learning because if you want to learn through direct experience, through actions and reflection, it is hard. It's often difficult. If you want to read in a classroom. So by having a mobile learning environment, it's open the possibilities. It open a wide range of new and exciting learning opportunities, and envision the students to learn across space and time, constant interaction with technology, because nowadays all the students have mobile devices on their hands, like in the palm. Yeah, actually, today is World No Tobacco Day. In conjunction with my presentation is coincidentally really suits my presentation today. Because I'm going to talk about smoking cessation act. This is currently in Singapore, and medical campus. We are actually having a booth now. For this World No Tobacco Day. That's some pictures from my friend. Send me, some. Yeah, actually, tobacco consumption is a leading preventable cause of death and disease worldwide. It causing nearly 6 million deaths each year. And by Ministry of Health and Statistics, tobacco use in Malaysia accounts about 35% of in-hospital death, basically from cancer, heart disease, and stroke. And then more than 10,000 Malaysians actually die from smoking-related illnesses each year. Actually, Malaysia have participated in this survey, regarding the adult tobacco survey, organized by WHO and Public Health. Okay, from that survey, we found that almost half of adult smokers try to quit, but the only 9%, not only 9.5%, successfully quit without any assistance. But therefore, we suggest that effective interventions to support them to stop smoking or for smoking cessation are urgently needed. And if you look on mobile devices now, if you go through App Store, iTunes, Google Play, you will see that there's lots of applications, hundreds, thousands of applications, and only few of them is related with smoking cessation. And then we know that mobile phone technology has the potential to provide personalized smoking cessation support. Okay? Because all of our citizens actually have at least one mobile devices in their home, and then which can be used, and they always daily look at it. And then by using these mobile phones, the content dedicated to the age, sex, and ethnic group of the speaker. Okay, as I mentioned, only 200 apps has been identified as smoking cessation apps. Only 200. From that 100,000 of apps in the store, only 200 is smoking cessation apps. This is an example of the app. Quit smoking, I quit now, but out. They get rich or die smoking. And then Quit Pro. But this is just some examples. However, recent content analysis of these apps, we found that it's actually strictly not adhere to the evidence-based principles for smoking cessation, or may not sufficiently stimulate autonomous motivation as explained by the self-determination theory in public health. Okay, self-determination theory is what we want our students to learn. So in the class, according to this theory, the verification of three basic psychological needs, which is autonomy, competence, and relatedness, and motivation to stop or to change their behavior in smoking. So actually, in this paper, we want the student to understand this theory not by giving lecture to them, but they have to actually experience what is the self-depreciation theory by developing it themselves, not using the app. So this concept paper has taken a further step forward in learning with a reverse approach. What I mean by reverse approach is we actually not using the mobile apps to teach depreciation theory, but the students have to create the apps by knowing what is self-depreciation theory. So that's why we call it a reverse approach. Okay, that's that. So actually, the students have to experience beyond the syllabus because they have to do preliminary research and evaluate the developed app with real patient at the end of the study. So the problem statements, currently the content analysis of available smoking cessation apps reveal that available apps have low levels of adherence to evidence-based guidelines. And then current smoking cessation apps offer limited features, okay, so to satisfy all the basic needs for this theory, which is crucial actually for long-term smoking cessation. Because I think most of the developer is not from medical background. Most of them just socially want to make an app and produce it outside. And then currently there is no bilingual English or Malay language based smoking cessation app available. So actually we are getting towards the council. The students can learn the theory and so we can publish it out to the public with Malaysian version bilingual. Yes, actually. So the objective of this study is to integrate and learning actually technologies in carrying our dental curriculum, and then to develop the app, smoking cessation app for Malaysian population. Okay, the methodology, we have three phases: content development, technical development, the app itself, and then testing the app and evaluation. In phase one, the student will have to read all the literature regarding the SDT, the theory, what is needed evidence base to stop smoking, okay, which then will be applied in the content of the app. And then phase two will focus on the technical development of the app itself. So they will learn how to make the app based from the phase one knowledge collected. And then once the app has been developed, we will launch it and test it and evaluate for its usage, content, and effectiveness with real patients. Okay, the methodology for the app, we will start with Android first. This is the easiest way by using the Android SDK software with Android Studio. And then we'll deploy it in Google Play, and then the patient can download it anywhere and test it themselves offline or online. And we'll, of course, we will have a questionnaire to evaluate in phase 3, the usage evaluation, how many times the app has been downloaded, and also evaluation of extent of engagement. Okay, how many times the user open the apps, and then the content itself, whether the user does it satisfy the basic needs of the theory, whether it can stimulate autonomous motivation for the patient to stop smoking, and then the effectiveness of the app, because this will include an evaluation of self-reported 30-day prevent quick fix amongst app users against unaided cessation. So we anticipate that at the end, we will have the app, the development of an app, evidence-based smoking cessation app, okay, which supports self-determination theory that is crucial for stimulating autonomous motivation for long-term smoking cessation. Of course, this will be the first bilingual smoking cessation app to incorporate both Bahasa Malaysia and English to enable a wider demographic of the Malaysian population. And then, of course, by developing the app, the students will also explore meaningful learning experiences and shift the mode of teaching to themselves. Okay, because they have to experience itself, they have to generate the app themselves, then they have to work in a team. It's collaborative and flexible and address the needs of Generation C, we call it now, generation contents. As a conclusion, we can see now that an evolution or at least paradigm shift is occurring in education, right? And then by integrating and utilizing these learning technologies properly, we as the educators may have an opportunity to bring engagement and active learning to a new and profound height for the students. And of course, if you have come across this, the fundamental concepts from John Dewey, learning needs to be driven by application. That's why we propose this reverse approach in learning. Okay? They have to apply what they learn in self-determination theory and bring it about to the app for the patient. So last but not least, knowledge, its transfer and therefore transcendence comes most appropriately when it can be used, not merely doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Andy, for a very interesting and informative presentation. So So now we know that we have the application, and they just contribute to the so maybe they use the application. Okay, so we put for the equation and association. Any question?
I didn't have one, sorry. I've answered too many questions. Just out of curiosity, because we are talking of this app as a learning outcome for your students. At the end of the lesson or at the end of the course, you want them to come up with an app, correct?
Yeah.
So you expose them to the theoretical part of self-determination
Yes.
first?
Yes.
And
We have this example of certain outcomes, specific learning outcomes at the beginning of the course with the handbook. So they know what they will have to cover. Of course, we have e-module for what is certification theory, all that. And it's just a basic one. So they can study by themselves. And of course, we will guide them.
I find it very interesting because it's rare for us educators to ask students to come up with this kind of thing, and I think it's good because it covers the upper part of the brain sensory where they need to synthesize things, and it requires high order thinking.
That's why they have to have a literature review because they have to gather all the necessary content related to the app that they will be developing.
Is it done over one semester? At the end of the semester, they have to come up with
It hasn't been done yet. We are just proposing.
So what's
So
the plan?
it will be a 1 year. Yeah, because we have 5-year course. So it will be at the end because this is a public health module. So it's at the end of their syllabus.
So they are assessed based on the final product.
Yeah.
One question. How long would you suggest for the implementation for the apps? Implementation for these Android apps.
How long I think?
How long is the implementation time?
Basically we haven't think of that, but it's within that 1 year. Normally 6 months for them to create or to collect the data and to create the app. And another 6 months is for the evaluation. Because we already have patients in our hand. We already have patients every day ready. So it's not a problem for us to test actually the implementation.
So it's like a two-semester job.
Yeah.
Very interesting to know that embarking in this data. But then again, that to start an app, creating an app, you must have the knowledge.
Yes.
That
Actually, we are collaborating with FSCAN.
So, is it part of the parcel of the teaching and learning as well?
Yes.
Oh.
Teaching and learning. It's also for us, educators also. We are also. It's interesting actually.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Do you need any third-party experts outside ITM to develop, that kind of mobile app? Need the software developer because you involve the.
Actually, I just mentioned that we are collaborating with FSCAN,
Okay.
with the students and also with the lecturers. Maybe one of the students will collaborate with us as a financial project also for them.
Okay. Is there any outsider,
So far, not
external company, the vendor
So far-
or any
so
software
far-
developer?
Not yet. As currently, I also been learning myself the Android Studio software.
Because the technology always change and they need
Yes.
to upgrade it, every
Yes.
time. So if these mobile apps can be used until, it's
That's
a
why I
very
started
good
with
idea.
Android first because I'm familiar with Android.
Yeah.
So that's why I started with Android first.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'd like to invite the next gentleman, Puspa. Then Abidin, there is no other procedure. Because the last presenter, I would like to give the certificate for the presenter. So there will be Eddie. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah.
Ready.
Thank you.
For Thank you very much for your participation. Talk to you later.
Kindly check the seats. If there are any errors, let us know. I don't know what happened. Why?
Actually, I can give this, that one go to the DYOD section.
Sugar. Sugar. You are there. Yes, I'm still.
Alright, that's why I didn't even know him.
Yeah.
When did you join the institution? When did you join the institution? Yeah, that's very new, that's why I don't know him.
Let's go to the page.
Never mind, let's go back and you can settle this. You look very Chinese initially, I thought you were Chinese.
Oh, it's Chinese.
Ah, okay.
How old
How old are you? What the thing?
Looks
like looks like 25, man.
Yeah, very young. Okay, that's the romance, isn't it?
You're quite surprised. So you
Younger.
yeah. Technically we just okay then. Right.
Thank you.
Habis your first two saya tak.
Because I didn't know, I was actually looking for extension, but I think
Ah,
one is two extension cable.
ini siapa punya? I was recording ke apa ni?
Who's
Tak tahu siapa punya ni. Just off it lah.
this one PC kita punya,
Jadi kena off lah.
but that one siapa punya?
I don't know.
No idea what this one.
Never mind, you just off it dulu lah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is bungor. Bungor. What are we supposed to do with that?
Off and off.
I say switch it off and
Off it off.
No, live bro. For what?
I don't,
Live? Who is actually watching this?
I don't know.
Anyone watching this?
Mungkin lagi yang pula.
Yeah, this is live actually. Someone is watching this actually.
I don't know who is watching.
Yeah, that's the problem.
You can see siapa yang watching.
YouTube, oh my gosh. Yeah, they upload this thing to YouTube. Oh.
Kenapa kita? Off sudah.
Yeah, no. It's actually YouTube. Yeah, someone comment. Oh no, it's just this. Who is Jacob? But if they want to put this one, they need to be here, but anyone sitting here, you know?
Kan betul yang kau.
But ridiculous, like you just leave this thing here. So I'm going to stop here. Stop broadcasting.
Kan dia orang cakap akan.
Pardon?